2 weeks ago, probably. Yeah, probably the first call we've had with him for about 2 months. But yeah, we were lucky enough to speak to him like 2 weeks ago.
How does that work? So, like, do you know in advance you're going to speak? Like, so, for example, today, do you know when you're going to speak to him next?
No, so it's really chaotic. In fact, I'm glad you asked, because we'll get a message, and it can be sometimes at about 4 a.m. On any day, and it'll suddenly say, okay, call coming at 10 a.m. So we have 6 hours, and if we're not awake through that period, then we miss it, which has happened before, and then we have to wait another 3 months before anything comes about. But usually we're able to, we're quite on it with it, and are able to rush whatever situation we're in. We cancel, for me, I cancel any meetings, whatever it is, and instantly we jump on, and then often we're left waiting for about an hour, and then eventually the call comes through, and then we have about 20 minutes to speak. So there's no protocol. It's a complete mess.
It just feels like a torture technique. Why do you think they're doing it this way? Why are they treating the former prime minister of the country, what I consider to be the most popular man in the country? Like, I get people all the time when I meet someone from Pakistan. Why do you think they're treating him this way?
You hit the nail on the head. It's a technique to try and break him. He's a very, very resilient person, and I don't, he's one of the hardest people possible to break. But all of these techniques, shutting off the lights, leaving him in the pitch black, not allowing doctors to go and see him, making sure that all of our calls are at completely random times and that we might miss them, or not letting us have our court mandated weekly phone calls. All of this is tactics to try and break him. But he's, good luck, but he's as resilient as they come mentally, and that comes down to his faith. He has strong faith in God, and also he's always had that kind of mental toughness. What we know is that he has no access to other prisoners. He is alone in there. He's occasionally in the pitch black for prolonged periods. There was one period where he was in there for 10 days in the pitch black, no electricity, no nothing. And I remember when I spoke to him about that, he said the first 2 days were beyond difficult, and then he was able to get into a kind of Zen-like mentality, and what ended up being 10 days, he said it could have been a year.
Whenever we speak to him, he's as strong as ever. He's not the type of person to complain about the conditions that he's in. We will always ask how he is, but he'll always sort of brush off those sorts of questions. He's more interested in hearing how we are.
I know he's dealt with it in a way that, what I think is the right way of dealing with it is he just reads loads and loads of different parts of historical literature, religious literature, and then he does exercise, and it's his two things that he's always loved in life. So I think in a cell, it suits him in a way to just be able to focus on those two things. And every time we call, we only get to speak to him for about 20 minutes, and around that time, randomly, the line will cut off. So he's so focused on ensuring that he's able to spend the first 10 minutes imparting wisdom of whatever he's learnt, whatever religious or life lessons he can impart on us, and then the last 10 minutes he's very focused on finding out how we are, what's our situation, how's our family, and things like that. So we don't actually get very much time to ask about how he's coping, but I know he's doing a lot of reading, that's for sure.